So today I'm going to share with you what you can learn from Ken Roczen when it comes to your mental game. So one of the key things we've learned after 3 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross is there have been 2 challenges that Ken Roczen has faced. Obviously jumping over the double when the red cross flag was out, costing him points, and then also his incident with Dean Wilson. So we've all heard about that. We're not going to talk about that and beat it to death. But what we do need to talk about is what can you learn from Ken Roczen? Now, one of the most powerful skills as an athlete and a human being you need to learn is emotional intelligence. What I mean by that is your ability to manage your emotions. Now, emotions are powerful. Why? Because an emotion is a feeling, and a feeling creates a thought, and then thoughts create feelings. So what happens is you get into this little, almost like a hamster loop, right? It's almost like a little gerbil if you're not controlling things, right? So if you leave things to your past, right? Your brain is a predicting machine. It likes to predict the future. So if you leave things to chance and you're not a conscious human being or a conscious racer, what happens is you'll start to replay the emotions of your past, and then you'll have a familiar feeling, and then that feeling creates a thought, and then that thought creates another feeling, and you start getting that circle going. Now, often that circle, if you leave it to chance, is from the past. So if you don't move forward from incidents of your past, pain from your past, then what you do is you create suffering. And suffering is when you take pain and you think about it and you have that same emotional response or that feeling associated with it, then that reminds you about the pain and how unfair it was. Once again, you get this loop going, okay? So in order to break that chain or that cycle of thought and feeling from the past and those emotions of the past that are provoking it, you need to start shifting your thoughts towards creating thoughts and feelings of the future you want to have. Now, in Ken Roczen's case, my fear is that he is replaying the incidents and becoming what we would call a victim. And the victim mentality is always thinking in the past. You can't be a victim of your future because it hasn't happened yet, but you can be a victim of your past. Now, when we talk about, to add to this, we talk about pain and we talk about suffering. Pain is when something goes wrong. Does Ken Roczen have all the rights in the world to have felt pain? Sure, of course. You know, he had 2 incidents. Painful. Good, that's fine. You learn from it and you move forward. Why? Because if you don't, and you start replaying that cycle I was talking about, then pain turns into suffering, suffering turns into a mood turns into a personality, and that becomes the type of racer you are, and then your future becomes bleak. And what happens is you don't win a championship because you've always been the victim, and you can't be a victim, and you can't suffer, and in the sense that I'm using the term suffering, and then win a championship. The person who wins a championship is the person who breaks that habit of being themselves, breaks that pattern of suffering, and says, listen, it already happened. I don't care anymore. Why? Because there's only so much energy I have and so many focus points I have to create the destiny I want, create the reality I want this way. I want to go this way. I want to create a championship, which is here. Championships aren't over here. That's the past. You want to create a championship, you got to go over here in the future. How do you do that? You break the cycle using your imagination and say, okay, what do I want to happen this weekend? What do I want to happen this Saturday? You only have so much energy. Let's say that, just argument's sake, you had this much energy throughout the day. Why are you going to take that energy, which is extremely valuable and a limited resource, and place it on the past? Take it and shift it towards the future. Shift it over here towards imagining what you want to happen, not replaying what did. So now you're thinking like, all right, here's what's going to happen this weekend. I've researched, I'm familiar with the dirt. I've raced Indy before. Here are my notes from Indy in the past. Here are the things I know about Indy. Here are the things I love about Indy. Matter of fact, there's a restaurant I love in Indy that I want to go to, and I'm going to bring my wife and my child Griffin there, and we're going to have a great time. Start focusing on the future. Most of us are victims and miserable, and we feel regret, pain, humiliation because we live in the past. There's so many of us that live in the past. In our motocross community and supercross community, there is so much pain and suffering that I see, and it's all from people just reliving the past, and that becomes their mood, that becomes their personality, and that becomes who they are. They are the victim, okay? Focus on the future. Learn from Ken Roczen that the future is where it is at. The future is where creation is at. The future is yours when you start to create it in your mind. And then when you create it in your mind, it becomes a reality. Learn from Ken Roczen. This is, in my opinion, a critical skill that he has yet to learn. And I'm, by the way, a huge Ken Roczen fan. However, I feel that this is a skill that Ken has not yet mastered. And I even believe he's aware of this. And I do truly believe he is working on it. However, this is a skill that you as a human being and you as a racer should be working on daily. Create your future, because the thing is this, if you don't focus on creating your future every day and you don't consciously put effort and thought into it, then all you're going to do is default to the record of the past. So if you guys are stuck, if you feel stuck and you feel like nothing's changing, you don't like your relationship, you don't like your job, you don't like whatever, it's because you're not consciously creating your future. You're just allowing the record of the past to play. So take the needle off the record of the past. Think about your future, use your imagination, activate all the senses, raise your vibration, raise your feelings, raise your emotions, and you will then attract and become that future reality that you created in your mind. Anything that is real had to be imagined first. Think about anyone who has won a race. They didn't just win a race and say, wow, and then talk about it. It was like they all imagined and dreamed about it. Chad Reed always says, oh, I dreamed big. Chad Reed may not even realize that a big part of his success was from imagining and thinking about what he wanted to happen, and then he created that reality. Guys, if you're not using your imagination, which is your greatest gift, and if you want to get religious, which I'm not super religious, but I am spiritual, but if you want to go there, your imagination is truly the creator, which you could argue is God. And then you get into this whole spiritual thing, but I'm not going to go deep into that. But why would you waste such a gift? Imagination, use it. Use it, or your past will use you. My name is Dr. Jay Kavanaugh, and if you want to get into a coaching program, we do have 2 coaching programs available. One right now is filled up, which is the one-on-one coaching. That usually is filled. However, because of that, we have opened up group coaching at a lower price point for those people interested. If you're interested, let me know. There'll be a description. In the description, you'll find ways to reach out to us, and we look forward to hearing from you. And if you want to watch 2 other videos that will inspire you to master your mental game, no matter what sport you're in, whether it's motocross, supercross, football, autocross, rallycross, doesn't matter. The mental game is the same across all sports. That's what I was trying to say. All right. Peace out, guys.